I found the Samsung and iPhone killer and used it for a couple of months. It's almost half the price compared to Samsung and Apple in markets like Europe and India. It's got a better display, better battery life, better charging, better software usability animation, best I've seen on Android on par with iOS, and a camera that is right on par and in some ways better than the competition. And it's got a forgotten most fun feature that we don't see on other phones anymore. Best of all, I'm giving one away to you guys since previous winners did not respond, so it's your second shot to win the Honor Magic 6 Pro. So yeah, this is my several months of experience of using probably one of the most underrated flagship phone on the market. So I will first start off with display. What does Honor do different compared to Samsung and Apple that makes their display the best on the market in my opinion? This is the best smartphone display for your eyes. And not because it has higher brightness than both Samsung and iPhone, but actually this phone has the highest PWM dimming number, about 4320 Hz, compared to Galaxy S24 Ultra and iPhone, which are quite on the low scale. Because of this, when you're using the phone, especially at low brightness levels, you're going to feel drastically less eye strain compared to other smartphone displays. As someone who uses his phone quite a lot and has sensitive eyes, I can definitely say it does make a difference. Now this is a quad curved panel with one of the most bezel-less screens out there. It looks great, but it is very slippery, so you have to be careful when you put this on a sofa or on a chair. I did drop it a few times and I'm using it without a case, but it managed to survive just fine. In terms of the overall design look, it has aged pretty good compared to the competition. Before this, I was using the S24 Ultra, and as much as I love the squarish look of the phone, I have to admit this is a lot more comfortable because of the rounded edges. Samsung knows this, and in case you don't know, they're actually switching to more of a rounded look as per latest leaks on the Galaxy S25 Ultra next year. Now, despite being very round, one thing I like is that this phone is able to stand on its own. Oh, while we are on the topic of design, you see this little dot on the top? This is called IR Blaster, and with this, I can basically turn this phone into a smart remote control for my air conditioner, my camera, and even my television. Back in the days, most flagship phones had this feature, but for some reason, they stopped including this feature. I'm glad to see that Honor is still keeping this feature alive. Another important area where Magic 6 Pro has really performed the best in my usage has been the battery life. Not only that, it has 80-watt fast charging, meaning it can go from 0 to 100% in under 40 minutes. Quite noticeably faster compared to Samsung and iPhone, especially when you account for your daily usage. I don't know why both Samsung and Apple are hell-bent on not improving the faster charging speeds, as well as not increasing the battery size to beyond 5000 level. Next is software experience and performance. So over the past few months, Honor has improved the experience even more, particularly under the hood. Compared to the S24 Ultra, this has the best performing Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip. In my wildlife extreme stress test, the Honor Magic 6 Pro comfortably defeated both Apple and Samsung with a consistent margin, especially when you consider the long-term performance. I think this app is not optimized for iOS 18, but compared to Galaxy S24 Ultra, we definitely have a better performing Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, which Honor has improved in these past few months of software updates. Now, this is the only software experience that I would say is legit on par with iOS when it comes to animations. Like, they have really optimized this down to the notch since the day one. Every animation from icon / folder expansion to the dynamic capsule, it's really good. You can control the phone using gestures to scroll around or take screenshots in the most coolest way. This works very accurately thanks to the 3D front camera setup. We've got AI noise cancellation on calls. Magic Text and Magic Portal AI features are pretty cool. It lets you extract text from images or from the web in different applications, as well as placing your images and screenshots in different apps. While it doesn't have all the AI features like writing tools or translate features that we see on Samsung, it's still an overall great UI, and I would say a perfect hybrid between iOS and Samsung's One UI. You can even turn this phone into a desktop like Samsung Dex, which works really well wirelessly, and of course thanks to Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip. Now moving on to the camera. How well does the camera has aged over these past few months? Well, pretty good actually, because this is still one of my favorite phones when it comes to photos and videos. With photos, you get crispy high details, great colors, and an overall very strong HDR performance compared to Samsung and iPhone, especially during the night when you have a light source. It does a pretty good job managing those flares. Speaking of the night, something I didn't test out before was the video night mode, which actually comes at 4K 24 frames per second. With this mode, it actually surpasses the iPhone in terms of exposing the scene better with more detail. You only need to use this when the light is really low, and it really does make a difference. As for the daytime footage, it looks pretty good as you expect from a flagship phone. You can use 4K 60 on all lenses with very smooth lens transition. Now another mode that I forgot to test out on this phone was the built-in log video mode, which not only gets you extra detail but also wider dynamic range of colors. And this is something that you cannot do on the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Once you're done shooting log videos, you can easily apply the built-in LUTs that Honor has with their video editor and get an instant cinematic video right on your phone. It honestly looks really good. It supports up to 4K 60 FPS, but for Instagram stories, I would say 4K 30 FPS is the best option. Now, this phone has the world's sharpest zoom lens, coming at roughly 3x optical zoom level at 180 megapixel resolution. When you have the light, you can definitely tap into those details. The main sensor is 50 megapixel and the ultra wide angle sensor is also 50 megapixels, so you basically get high-res photos throughout all the lenses, something you don't have on Samsung and iPhone. You can absolutely utilize this when you have that good lighting scenario. The zoom lens is great for photos up to 5, 10x and 30x level, but beyond that, you're definitely gonna lose quality. And for the video, you can shoot 4K 60 FPS at 3x, 5x, and then zoom all the way up to 10x, but for the best quality, you're gonna get it between 3x to 5x levels. And even when shooting at 4K 60 FPS level, it's quite stable. The only gripe I had with this camera is that it can shoot 4K 30, 1080p 60 with the front camera, but no 4K 60 FPS. Apart from that, it is a very powerful camera setup. So all in all, should you buy this phone? Well, as I said, considering the price right now of the Magic 6 Pro being half the price of Samsung and iPhone in Europe, and also quite a bit less in a market like India where it's about to get launched pretty soon, honestly, it's a very good option to consider. Really solid battery life, great charging speeds, a very good display for your eyes, the best Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 performance that I've tested out on an Android phone, smooth iOS-like animations, great photo performance and video performance thanks to the log 4K 60 FPS. Honestly, this phone has all the ultra features that you would get on $1,000+ phones, but not paying $1,000+. It really is a flagship phone to consider at its current price. And if you're lucky, you might win one for free because I am giving one away, so all the details are mentioned in the description below. As always, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. With that being said, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.